name's Megan Wright, and I will be talking to you about Loving Care Ministries. Did you know that West Texas Homeless Network did 129 surveys and 172 people identified as homeless? And that was in 2017. My purpose of this speech is to persuade you and my audience to volunteer for Loving Care Ministries. I am credible to speak on this topic, being that I have volunteered for this organization for a few years, and I have done a plethora of research to expand my knowledge. Today I will be discussing the 3 needs that this organization focuses on. Those needs are food, clothing, and shelter. Next, I will talk about my solution, which could minimize the need for the needs. Lastly, I will inform you of the possibilities that could occur if something was not done. First, let's take a look at the needs that this organization helps meet. Food. Through experience in Loving Care Ministries states, by reaching out to those who were hungry on the streets and realizing throughout the next several years that many people work just don't have the financial resources to make it to the next day. So they do work, they do try, but some people just don't have the money to go and get their next meal. Kate Texas explains, 4 days a week they're out and about distributing food and drinks to the homeless around Abilene. So this organization they load up bags and they take meals to anyone who needs them. Let's move on to the second need, which is met by the organization, clothing. With the cooler weather on the doorsteps, warm weather items like sleeping bags, coats, and blankets are needed, but other articles of clothing are still good. Loving Care Ministries discusses that after giving clothing away from a garage and reaching those in need, Loving Care opened their first clothing ministry in September. So they were in a garage, and now they're capable of opening up a whole ministry just for clothing. Last but not least, let's look at the final need, which is met, shelter. Big Country Homepage reports that last year, nearly 400 people in Abilene were considered homeless. And that number is alarming to agencies which work directly with dealing with the homeless. Fox 15 said, the city is trying to handle how many homeless roam the Abilene streets, but that's a large number. Populations targeted by the survey include individuals, veterans, families, and young people who live on the streets, in the places not meant for human habitation or in emergency/transitional shelters. And then, to volunteer, you can help serve, you can donate, or you can help organize the items which they receive. A solution to issues and needs stated above is exactly what this company and the community around is doing. Through offering shelter, food, and clothing, which includes hygiene care, to make a big impact which is needed, the community needs to recruit more and more individuals who are willing to volunteer and donate. With more donations, it will allow more of the homeless to be provided clothing and food. You can help in any of these ways. When you clean out your closet, you can drop off unwanted, not to use clothing at the clothing drop-off area. Volunteer to help serve or organize. Like stated above, they do serve food, and so you can either help and go do that, which is simple and takes not much time out of your day. Attend the food drive events, and either donate food or help unload or load it. Mission Thanksgiving is an event that I have worked for and volunteered for about 3 years, and what they do is they put 18-wheelers on the side, and people can drive through, and you can bring canned goods, clothing, anything you need, and you can bring them, and we unload them from the vehicle and put them into the 18-wheelers, which are then taken to the headquarters, and that's where people can be there to organize them and help unload. Now let's take a look at the future of the homeless if actions aren't made. If more clothing, shelter, and food are not made available to the homeless, the number of individuals on the street will continue to grow tremendously. Those whom choose to volunteer can do anything from working in the kitchen to picking up donations. Now let's take a look at what I've shared with you today. And to look at this is from Mission Thanksgiving, and it shows how when so many people come together, it can make a big difference. And if we don't do our part, this is going to be the result. People are still going to be holding signs and not getting the needs met that they have. Now, how we can help. Today I have shared with you 3 main needs of the homeless. Food is a very important factor. We all need food. And most of the time the homeless have no idea when or where their next meal will even come from. Second, clothing. We all want clothing and we all want to stay warm. Clothing is especially crucial in the winter months, and it is hard for individuals to stay warm. Shelter. There isn't a day that goes by that homeless individuals aren't seen living or sleeping without shelter. When we go places in Abilene, I actually personally drive by a spot every morning on the way to work, and there's a homeless man who has collected wood, and he has a shopping cart, and he actually wraps a tarp around a light pole to stay warm, and he uses the heat off of the pole. We can help him. We don't have to leave him there. I hope after listening to my speech, I hope to persuade you to volunteer for Love and Care Ministries. It's a great organization ran by great people. And if my speech has given you the urge to volunteer through Love and Care Ministries, please contact them at 325-670-0246. And thank you so much for listening to my speech.
Yay! Nice. That's good.